look at all these games and 2/3 of those NFC matchups, you're like, man, it's going to be a crap show. Both those teams aren't good. If you look at the AFC, there is probably 10 teams I could name right now that are probably better than the third and fourth team in the NFC right now. I mean,
Agreed.
the Eagles and the 49ers right now, you've got Tampa kind of falling off at the end. When Brady leaves, that team's going to be a mess. And you've got Green Bay without Devontae Adams. They're not looking the best. So behind that, I mean, just look at how powerful the AFC is compared to the NFC is. You go through these game by game breakdowns, and it's just like every game is just like, yeah, two bad teams going head to head, two bad teams going head to head, two bad teams going head to head. And this is
It's
kind of
not
another.
good. It's not good at all. Um, I noticed that. I mean, we obviously know that the NFC has not. The AFC has, as pretty much a whole, has invested in younger quarterbacks, which makes the game a little bit more exciting. For most teams. And then the NFC is trying to do this retread thing, and I don't, I don't know what that's about, but it's not looking good. Um, Again, I don't know what the Commanders are doing. Um, Tennessee is just Tennessee just seems like they're just walking out there hoping to win games sometimes, and I just don't think that's a good recipe, especially now that there's competition in the AFC South for them. Um, as far as when I
I mean,
say for them, they've won the AFC South over the past couple years, and now Jacksonville's starting to come into its own. So they've got to figure out what identity they want to personify because I don't feel that they do have an identity.
I mean, to me, their game plan for the last 4 years is just run the wheels off of Derrick Henry until they fall off. And we're
And
starting to
I
get.
think they've fallen off.
I think we're getting to the point where we're seeing that heavy workload, all of that usage over the last few years is taking its toll. He's had a couple of his signature Derrick Henry runs, but besides that, I mean, he just doesn't look like the Derrick Henry of old. He looks like all of those seasons that he had where he was rushing the ball 30, 40 times a game is caught up to him, and he just doesn't have his legs underneath him right now.
I'm very happy that he's gotten paid, that he was able to get paid before this has happened because it definitely happening. But you're completely right. He doesn't look like Derrick Henry. He looks like any average back. Um, you
Well,
don't see him on highlights. You don't hear anybody talk about him. Tennessee's just there.
and not only that, Derrick Henry has taken a lot of hits over his career. And everybody put up the excuse, oh, he's so big, he's so strong, it won't affect him like other backs. Yeah, the normal wear and tear probably wouldn't, but the extra workload they put on him, Tennessee didn't have a very good offensive line for years. So he took a lot of extra hits. The yardage he got were hard fought yards where he was dragging three or four guys for an extra 4 or 5 yards. Doesn't matter how big and tough you are, those hits are going to take a toll. And between the foot injury that he had last year, he had surgery on, which is the same surgery that Sammy Watkins spent 10 years trying to recover from.
Yep.
I just don't think he's ever going to be the same again.
No. All right, we got about five of these left, and I guess we got about 10 minutes, so we're probably going to push it here. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are 1-3. The 49ers are 2-2. Um, I actually thought Baker Mayfield was going to be a decent quarterback in this league. He's not.
No. I, I
And I
said I said this last year when he was before he got hurt at the beginning of the season when that CMC hype train was going that they should have traded him and started their rebuild. And instead, they decided to keep him. He got hurt. He's been hurt pretty much ever since. and that team is in a bad spot right now. I think that last year at the beginning of the season was probably should have been the start of their rebuild. And the 49ers, they look better now that Jimmy G's in there over Trey Lance.
Well, if the Panthers had started their rebuild last season, they would have got rid of Matt Rule, obviously, because you can't do a rebuild with that guy. He just can't. It's just not happening. And David Tepper, their owner, he wants to win on some level. I don't think it'll happen before Brady, but um, before Brady leaves that division. But yeah, the Panthers look inept. They look absolutely inept, and I can't. That's the only word I can think of. I want to use a worse word, but I can't. They look silly. And while the 49ers coming off this amazing defensive performance last week that was just smothering, and the Panthers are so bad that they're actually hindering their best players from being their great players from being great, in my opinion. With Christian McCaffrey and those guys there, those receivers that they have there. I mean, they're not A1 talent, but they still got talent, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, free DJ Moore.
I just don't it is what it is. I do think the 49ers will take that one, but the NFL has its weird games and this could be one of them, but the
When I say
49ers are coming to their own and they look like they're ready for prime time. Jimmy G's back. He's got something to prove because everybody act like they didn't want him. And the Panthers are actually one of the teams that should have been in on trying to get him. I'm just saying. So
like I said, it's they need to start their rebuild. They need a free DJ Moore. Christian Caffrey should go ahead and retire. He can't stay healthy. But I'd love to see DJ Moore in Kansas City.
I when that started being a rumor, actually I wanted I wanted Curtis Samuel here last season. Then he signed with the Commanders, I think. And I was like, okay, let's go get DJ Moore. Why not? Like they have a like they don't have to be amazing receivers, but he is actually a really good receiver. Let's keep it pushing. Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. Dallas Cowboys are 3-1. The Rams are 2-2. The Rams don't look good to me, and the Cowboys are doing it with Cooper Rush. I don't know if that's their idea of what they're going to get done, but hey,
Well, to
is
me,
it a true?
is Cooper Rush going to play this one, or is Dak going to be back for this one?
That's the part I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that one
Because
because I think Dak was scheduled to be back this game.
how much controversy would there be if Dak came back for this game and then they lose their first game in 4 games?
I I actually believe that's probably what's going to happen because Dak has to come back. There's always some stuff that you need to work out while you're in game since you've been out. But having the 26th offense is never a good thing. Having the 26th, the bottom of the league offense is never good. And I just wonder, like I believe that Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat, even at 3-1. Um, and so if we pushing it, what would it take for them to get rid of Dak Prescott?
Well,
He's your guy moving forward. So even if Cooper Rush is your guy to help you win this season, what does that do for you moving forward?
here's where Dallas went wrong in the offseason. They unloaded the wrong contract. They should have tried to get rid of Zeke instead of Amari Cooper. And they should have used that to rebuild that offensive line. To me, Pollard isn't much of a downgrade from Zeke. Pollard has actually looked like the better back at times, but they are having problems replacing Amari Cooper in that short yardage game in that possession receiver type role. And to me, that was their biggest mistake this offense. They should have kept Amari Cooper and they should have gotten rid of Zeke. And they should have
I
retooled that.
mean, just cut your losses at this point. Just cut your losses. Uh, but while the LA Rams, they're in the bottom of the league in almost every statistic, except
You,
for maybe passing. I think passing they're like middle of the pack, but
you want to lie?
bottom, huh?
It's all Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford throws interceptions at the most inopportune times in the worst positions that I've ever seen. I've never seen a quarterback that can look so good for 2 drives and then look so bad the next 2 drives. He will march that team down the field like he's Tom Brady 1 drive, and then the next drive he comes out looking like Baker Mayfield.
I mean, Allen Robinson is not a part of this offense. I don't know what's going on with this team.
To me, I
Is it
said,
a Super Bowl? Like I don't. Everybody's talking about. Uh, I was listening to something and they said they still got OBJ's locker area open for him, hoping he comes back or whatever.
well, if you
Man, he ain't saving y'all. He's by
well,
the time he comes back, y'all probably be fighting for a playoff spot
I
versus
said
Geno Smith.
I said this when everybody was hyping up Allen Robinson to the Rams. Allen Robinson is a possession receiver. He was probably one of the best possession receivers in the league. The problem is they have Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is their possession receiver. Everything over the middle or middle routes to the outside cuts. The routes that a possession receiver would run, Cooper Kupp is taking all of that. So they're trying to fit Allen Robinson in different roles, outside roles, deep roles, roles that he's never really succeeded in. If he would have went to a team that needed a possession receiver, he would have thrived. If he would have went to Dallas, Dallas would have been a good situation for Robinson to go to, replacing Amari Cooper's that possession receiver role. But he went to a
To the
spot
point.
where he was going to be battling Cooper Kupp for the same type of role that he thrives at. And he's not dethroning Cooper Kupp for that spot.
No, no one is. Not right now. No.
I said
Um,
wasted move when they did it. Everybody laughed at me. And I said, what are you going to use him as? A vertical threat? He's not a vertical threat. They said they'll use
nah,
him in
he's not.
the role as OBJ. I was like, no, OBJ was a vertical threat. He was an outside receiver. Cooper Kupp is their possession receiver. He's going to take all of those over the middle, short routes, get them into space, and that's going to leave Allen Robinson struggling for targets. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely see it. He is definitely not suited for the position that he's in, and I don't know how they come back from that. Let's go to the Eagles game. The Eagles are 4-0. The Cardinals are 2-2.
Give me
Uh,
the
huh?
call on the upset. The Cardinals on this one.
I wanted to call the upset.
I'm calling it.
I was just literally thinking about this. I wanted to call the upset, but the Cardinals, they just don't look like a good 2-2 to me. They look like a bad 2-2, and I look. I think Kyler Murray, if they do win this game, it's going to be the improvisation. Oh my goodness, the improvising of Kyler Murray that's going to propel them over this Philadelphia defense, because the Eagles defense, their defensive backs are really stout, and I do think that it's going to take a little bit longer for plays to develop so that uh, Kyler Murray can make those almost impossible plays. But I don't. I wanted to call the upset, but I don't see it here. Maybe you're right, but I don't know if I see it.
It's one of those games that Arizona should have no business winning, but my gut for some reason is telling me that this could be the upset of the week. And I think they get DeAndre Hopkins back this week, don't they?
They do, and
And
that's part of why I thought that. That's part of the reason why I wanted to pick them to win this game, but then thought about it like